And I was like, what in the world? That took me for... And I was like, what in the world? That definitely took me for surprise. Or what is the fucking saying? By surprise.
So who cares? Why not do your own thing and let them say what they want?
We've got cashews and Perrier, and I need to sit more this way, and we're gonna talk about anal today, but I'm not a rapper. Certainly I am not a rapper, because that was horrible. Let me sit and get more comfortable. What's up? All right, peak comfort. One more drink. Why does drinking from a bottle of Pellegrino, not Perrier by the way, make me feel like an alcoholic when it's just sparkling water? Maybe it's the tint, the green hue that makes me feel like I'm drinking like a 40 of some kind of horrible fucking beer, like a Heineken or something. What's up guys, and welcome to my anal adventure video. Today we are finally doing the video where I talk about my anal adventure, how it started, what I've been doing, and yeah, let's just get right into it because I think this is gonna be a very interesting video for you guys because not only am I gonna break my rule slightly of not talking too much about my sex life, my personal sex life with the boyfriend, but I'm also going to give you guys some tips and tricks for anal, which is something I never thought I would do outside of just like telling you the obvious shit that people should know, but for some reason nobody knows, like don't just ram it in dry because the anus doesn't self-lubricate and I could fucking tear your shit. Let's start by talking about how I came to want to embark upon an anal adventure in the first place. So, I was out hiking with some female friends of hunters, and what that means is girlfriends of hunters' friends, not female friends, because he doesn't have those because he's weird. So, one of the girlfriends said something about like how weird it was that Hunter doesn't really love big ass because he's the ass man. I was like, what in the world? That definitely took me by surprise because we had never done it, maybe like once, and I was like, am I not fulfilling my boyfriend? That's basically how I felt in that moment. And he was like, oh yeah, this girl that he used to sleep with who happens to be a friend of mine who isn't yet but will be on the channel had said that he is like a big anal guy. And I'm like, what? I've never heard of this before, ever. Like, literally maybe mentioned it once and said he didn't care about it. So I was like, okay, Now this started me thinking, I don't really care why he hadn't asked me to do this thing that he supposedly really likes to do. I just wanted to start doing it for him. And I had always wanted to bleach my asshole. So when things just serendipitously come together as such, I decided I was going to finally take the dive and go to a laser place and bleach my asshole, and that I was also going to try my best to actually use all of the tips I've given you guys over the years and really start to enjoy or at least tolerate anal. Because backstory, if you guys haven't known me long enough, there are very few things that make me not a cool girl. I'm one of those cool girl TMs or those pick-me's or whatever, but like a genuine pick-me. Like I actually like guy stuff better than girl stuff and get along with guys better than girls. And I try not to put down other girls for not being that way because I see the utility of girls. I just have none of that utility. So where was I going with that? Ah, yes. The few things that I don't like that make men go wild if a girl likes it is I do not like eating chicken wings off the bone. I don't like gross, disgusting eating. I don't like sports that much, but I'm actually getting into things like hockey and stuff and trying to see them for what they are instead of being angry that players are traded around and there's no actual reason to like the teams that you're in the hometown of. You know, like nobody actually is from there, like especially like Golden Knights, like everyone's just Canadian. So it's like, why are we hating on the Canadians and being so patriotic about Nevada and Las Vegas and this team that is the Golden Knights of Vegas because none of them actually lived or came from Vegas. So like they're not like working for us and they're constantly being traded. Like that's a problem that I have, a big problem that I have with team sports that are not esports, because I do love esports. But anyway, those things aside, another thing that I don't like that guys seem to really like, at least they like the novelty of it, is anal. I just cannot get into anal. And I don't know if it's because I was with a guy who was like 8+ inches for so long or because I just didn't actually have the patience to prep properly, but I just never really got into it. And also, I don't know, like I hear a lot of girls say that they can come from anal alone. I've never heard of that. Like I have one friend who said she can, but then she's like, with a dildo on my pussy as well. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You can come from vaginal penetration because you can feel the clit through the wall of the vagina. And you can come from playing with the clit because the clit is the main place that you're gonna have those like intense fucking orgasms. But imagine having like 3 walls removed and then just coming from someone sticking something in your butt. It's as skeptical as I am about someone saying that they come just from having their nipples played with and nothing else. It's like, wow, you must be so receptive or so fucking, I'm just jealous probably because I'm like, wow, I want someone to just touch me and I just come. But anyway, so I decided to figure out what it is all about to go get my anus bleached. What's up, guys? Today I am finally going to be bleaching my anus. The only prep they said I had to do was to shave, which I'm already shaved, always. And that's pretty much it. I have to keep some like cream on or something for like 2 hours. So yeah, I really wish I could also laser, but I'm like a natural blonde, so I can't. We are at Spoiled Laser Hair Removal. Ah, yes, with the extra zoom lens, it's actually kind of cool. I can be like, spoiled. I go in to Spoiled Laser and I couldn't get you like footage of it actually happening because they're like super weird about their proprietary blend of nonsense or whatever, but I bought 6 different anal bleaching sessions and the girl was telling me like I'm not that dark already. Obviously I can't show you before and afters. If you want that kind of stuff, there's an OnlyFans for that, okay? But she was telling me I'm not that dark to begin with and my skin is so light, so if I want to get to that like nice skin tone or the pinky tone that some porn stars have, all I have to do is like 5 or 6 sessions. I'm on like the 5th session now, and I will say that I'm not there yet, so I think I'm gonna have to buy some more. But basically what they do, and I'll throw some B-roll over this so you can kind of get an idea of what goes on, is you go into a room and you literally, okay, I'm gonna do this just for you guys. You sit up on a bed. It's like a massage bed type thing, and there's a pillow here like supporting your stomach and your titties, and you're literally like this, like you're about to get analed. And then they go in there and they put like a cup underneath, right? To like catch the water. They clean you, they exfoliate you, and then they like put this like prickly thing, kind of like those roller pin like BDSM things that are supposed to like poke the shit out of you. They do that all over your anus, which kind of just tickles, to me at least. Excuse me. And then they like put the bleaching agent on there and tell you to wait like an hour. I always wait like a whole day. So that's me every time I go in. It seems to be a negligible difference each time, but after 5 times, it's a pretty decent difference. I feel like I'm getting to where I want to be, but I also feel like I would want to do like double the amount of stuff that I'm doing to get to exactly where I want to be, which is that like pinky, nice, pale butthole tone. And another thing I've noticed is that I have 3 or 4 friends that literally don't need it because they're naturally just white assholes. Like, how the fuck did you even do that? I don't think it was very much money. I think it was like a package deal of like a couple hundred for the 6. I'm not quite sure. Okay, so just got done. They left this cream on me. They said it would take like 30 minutes, but it really only took like 5 or 10. And the micro needling was just like they scratched me twice, one on one side, one on the other. It was just like a little poke. So it's supposed to be like they scrubbed me, and I cut my pussy like on the side near my anus this morning because they said I have to like come in shaved or whatever. So I did that, and so it was kind of hurting while she was like scrubbing me. And then it was just like 2 pokes and then cream that I have to leave on until tonight, which I will probably clean off before yoga at 7 o'clock. I really do wish I could show you guys where I'm starting from, but there are places where you can see that. For science, of course. Just for science. Some of the tips that they gave me, which I'm gonna give you guys right now, instead of using toilet paper, use wet wipes always, because the rubbing of the toilet paper can like leave stuff there and it's not as clean. Jay would say completely wash your ass with soap and water, but you don't have to do that. There's like wet wipes so you can actually like flush. They're flush safe. And I've been using those for a while now too, especially when I wanna just like freshen up down there, or I'll use the Summer's Eve ones that you can't flush, but they actually have like a pH balancing thing. And then they also say you're supposed to do like once a week of exfoliating your own asshole, which I have started to do with the thing that takes off my tan so I can put on a new layer of tan. Not sure how hygienic that is. I've also used that on Hunter's face before, but I digress. So I've been bleaching my asshole. It's been cool. I did like a whole fundraiser on OnlyFans to like bleach my asshole. And then I decided to finally properly prep for anal. And I did a lot of research on this because I'm actually quite afraid of anal as a concept. Like, I know a lot of girls, and this is the reality of having a lot of anal, like a lot of girls and guys, but I only watch straight porn, so it's mostly girls that I see in porn. They'll often have like little bumps around their anus, and when I was younger, when I was watching porn, I always thought that this was like herpes or something. But the reality is, like, when you stretch out your butthole butthole a lot, or when you have that like force going in and out and like frictioning on your asshole, you'll have like these little bumps that come out and just never go back in. So it actually changes the way your asshole looks if you do it too much or you're too rough with it. And I think there's like some genetic component there too. But that was something that I always thought was like really gross and porn. And I've seen it on a lot of girls that I've like been with myself. And to me, that's just like the indicator that, okay, you do a lot of anal. And it's not something that I want to have done to my asshole. Another thing that can happen is you can get a prolapsed anus, or you can get a perforated anus, which means that like the wall between your pussy and your vagina like rips a little bit, or you could just like fuck up your sphincter to the point where it's not as strong anymore, and that can cause incontinence. There's a lot of shit that can happen. I don't think it's immediately scary, because I know there's a lot of gay guys that only have anal, right? Because that's like all you can do because you don't have a vagina. I don't know why I'm teaching you guys that. There's also a mouth. You can also be top, but you know what I mean. Like there's gonna be a lot of anal in a gay relationship where the person's the bottom. And a lot of those guys probably have rough sex too. And I think that it's not for sure that all of those guys or all the girls that enjoy a lot of anal are gonna have those problems, but it's a very real consequence and possibility of having a lot of anal sex. So that's another thing that's always made me be like, I can't come from this. It always hurts. And I could fuck up my asshole because it's not what it's meant for. And I could have a poopy experience, which nobody fucking wants, right? Nobody wants a poopy experience. So moving on to the next thing I did, which was prepping for anal, which can, you know, negate the poopy experience. As I was saying, did a lot of research, found out that you should either use like a salt water or just a regular water. And please, again, do your own research. I'm not a doctor and I could be paraphrasing some of this or getting it wrong, or there could be like conflicting information out there. And it's just important that you look for yourself, because you have no fucking idea if I'm correct. So before you do any of this, look for yourself. I'm just giving you ideas and little tips that you should verify and fact check. I got one of those like squirter baster things, and I'm gonna insert a little footage of it here so you can see what it looks like. And I really like the one that I got too, because it doesn't allow water to come back into the globe when you're squeezing it, as long as you use the small tip. But I've been using the vaginal tip because I can't put the small tip on for some reason. I just can't get it in there, like can't do it. So what I do, and okay, from here until whatever timestamp I put, it's gonna be extreme TMI, okay? I feel bad because Jay's gonna be editing this video, but I'm glad that we are not sleeping together anymore, so I can kind of gross him out, and it's funny. Isn't it funny, Jay, how you have to sit here and listen to me talk about this gross ass shit? But anyway, when you are preparing for anal with the anal douche using water or whatever substance you want to use, you are literally shoving a bunch of water slowly into your asshole, creating an enema situation, and then you have like the urgency to go take a shit, but really you're just letting out like a ton of water and like little pieces of maybe poop that's like stuck in your rectum or whatever. Like, so it flushes it out well, so anything that might like get stuck to the dick or come out or get like suctioned out is gonna be taken care of by douching. Now for me, I have to do it like twice just to make sure, because I'm fucking paranoid. And they say you shouldn't do it more than like once a day. So obviously if I'm having sex every single day anally, I'm gonna be doing it once a day, and I'm gonna be like kind of pushing that boundary of like how often I can do it. And another annoying thing is like if you prep and then you have a long ass day before you actually do the deed, you might not be as clean as you were when you just prepped. I'm not sure about this. I've never had a problem before I prepped when I had anal, but I've only had anal like, I don't know, like 10, 20 times because I don't like it that much, and only with a few different guys. So I didn't have a huge sample size. And I used to, before I started eating tons of vegetables, have like an amazing fucking digestive system. But now it's kind of iffy, so I actually want to prep just in case. So I did that. I used the globe, and I just like put a little butt plug in there and lube it up and everything, and like that's the indicator of like, hey, I'm good to go anally or whatever. There was one time I had to film something for OnlyFans with this like tail butt plug, and the tail butt plug is a lot bigger than the little butt plug I put in to indicate that I'm clean and I'm ready to go, right? But I was like, okay, like I really don't want to do any of this anal stuff, and I had like a ton of anxiety, and this was the first time I was prepping. So I was like, I will use that, do the OnlyFans content, then I will prep. I don't know why I did it in that order, whatever. I guess I was just trying to work my way up, because I've had butt plugs in my butt before, but I have not had a full ass enema in my asshole before. So I did it in that order, and that kind of like loosened me up a little bit. And then when I put the butt plug in, it was like okay, and it actually felt okay. It didn't feel like intrusive or weird. And I know that every single time before that I've had anal, it always felt okay after a while when I relaxed and when it like stretched out enough. but it's hard for me to relax when it like hurts so much at first and when I'm so concerned about what's gonna happen. So I thought that maybe prepping would give me like peace of mind, and it kind of did. And the first time I was like, oh my god, please stop. Just like always like, oh my god, it hurts and it's horrible and I'm scared and like, please don't rip me in half. And then the second time with this butt plug thing, it lined up in such a way that the second time we had anal, the second time I prepped for this, it was actually enjoyable and actually kind of cool, and I actually got into it. And I get into it because I feed off of the vibe of my partner. So when he's having a good time and when he's enjoying it a lot, then I'm enjoying it a lot, and I can get like super turned on just by the fact that he is enjoying it a lot. So yeah, the second time wasn't that bad. And even though like it's annoying to prep and it's scary and all this stuff, and like sometimes it hurts a little bit, I'm actually honestly starting to enjoy my anal journey, which is pretty cool. I got a cute little whiter butthole, and I know better how to loosen it up. And I highly recommend, like, if you have these kinds of anxieties about anal like I do, to like prep and get all that ready and like fuck around with it and play with toys like on your own before your partner involves himself or herself, because for me that made a world of difference in me just being able to take my time and get ready and not have anything weird happen. Like, it would suck if I had to prep with the little bulbous like enema thing, if I had to prep it like in front of him, especially for the first time, and it's like weird. I'm like
pooping out of my asshole.
And then yeah, there was this time where I did a bucket list item that I didn't really know was a bucket list item. It's just something I hadn't done in sex. So basically everything I haven't done in sex that is interesting at all is a bucket list item, but I did that, and let's just say the result was interesting and hot, but very uncomfortable afterwards, and I can't give you any more than that. So yeah, my takeaway from this is that like when you try something and it doesn't work at first, practice makes perfect. So if there's anything you've ever wanted to learn or anything you've wanted to be good at, and you see people online saying like, anal is enjoyable as long as you prep right, and you think you prepped right, but it's not enjoyable, give it a few more tries. Try to get used to something, because as scary as like throwing a bunch of water in my butthole was, like now it's kind of like not that big of a deal. So anyway, the end of the story is I finally told him where I heard this information about him being an ass man, and he didn't even have anal with that girl, and he never said that, and he's just like most guys where he thinks that a girl who would do something like that, something that's kind of kinky, is like a cool girl. But I already do so many kinky things that it's like doesn't really matter that much, so he doesn't care that much. But from time to time it can be fun to do pretty much everything with him, because I'm absolutely infatuated with him, so why not please him in every way possible. So yeah, very silly reason, weird complex that his friend's girlfriend gave me, and then it wasn't even real, but it led to some development on my part, and now I have a cuter butthole. And hopefully I won't ever stretch it out too much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about anything, I'll try to respond in the comments. If you want to follow up or anything like that, let me know. Obviously, I can't show you before and afters, but I do think that it's important to like share these stories, because a lot of people don't really know what they're supposed to be feeling. They just read an article online about what people do who have already like gotten really used to those things, and then they're like, oh, well, I'm not used to this, so it feels really awkward. I must be doing something wrong, or I must be a failure. And I'm here to tell you that you are not a failure. It is completely normal for you to be like, what the fuck is even going on here, and take some time to get used to. But I think if you can really try to relax, just mess around on your own in a comfortable environment, you can probably learn to like a lot of things that you don't like that much. I mean, I've learned to like a lot of foods that I don't like, or learned to do a lot of things I didn't think I could do on my own, just being patient and continuing to try. That's how I got good at makeup. That's how I got good at pretty much everything I'm okay at. So here's to learning, betterment, and new horizons of fucking, I guess. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Do you guys like anal? Post in the comments. Weird, awkward wink. Bye, guys.